So what I would like to do now is apply a theme to the app. And in this case, we're doing a Chinese language app. So we'll keep it nice and simple. And I want to use two main colors throughout this app, which is a darkish red and a golden yellow. So what I will do is I'll first create those two colors as a constant. So I'm going to create a new directory and I'm going to call this configs. And in this configs folder, I'm going to put our themes and our constants, which will define how our app looks. So I'm going to create a new Dart file, and this one will be called constants. And in here, I'm going to create the two colors. So const of type color, and we'll call this one red. Now to set the color, I'll type color dot from ARGB, and now we can put in the alpha, red, green, and blue. And I should also import the material here. So the alpha, we'll set that at 255, and now we'll set in the red, green, and blue. And for a dark red, I've just used a color picker tool. So 215, 0, and 0. Cool, so that's our red. And then I also want to create a yellow. 255 for the alpha, 255 for the red, 165 here, and 30 here. And cool, we can see the golden yellow and the red color there. Now in the configs folder, I'm going to create another Dart file, and I'll name this themes. And to set the themes for the app, we'll use the ThemeData class. Import the material. Okay, so now we can just define how our app looks in this class here. Rather than going through all the individual parts of the app and updating it, we can update the majority of the app here in our ThemeData. So that keeps things nice and easy, and if we want to make a change, we just need to come back to this file, to this class, to update any changes that we want to make. So first of all, I want to set a primary color for the app. And the primary color will be that red color we just created, that constant we just created. So now that we have one of our properties set up, let's go to our main, and here we have our theme data. So what we can do is just write in app theme. So pass in that variable that we just created. Then we need to import the file that we placed it in. So now we have our theme data. We will just update everything here. So first, let's set the background of the tiles to that red we created. So back in components, we'll go to topic tile. And in our box decoration, to set this as our primary color, I'll type in theme of context, and now I can select primary color. Okay, cool. So that red color has now updated to our primary color. And now this is really handy. We can update this in all the different places that we want. Let's update the text as well. So let's come back to our themes. So in our theme data, we can update our text theme, and we'll write in text theme. And our default text is body text 2. It's not body text 1, it's actually body text 2. And then let's set the default theme. We'll write text style. And now we can update this. So the first thing is I want the default color to be white. I want the default size to be 18. And a really handy way to set a text theme is to use Google Fonts. So here we can choose heaps of different types of fonts. So in pub.dev, type in Google Fonts. Grab the dependency here. So here I'll just paste this in Google Fonts, run pub-get. Then back in our themes, I'll select font family, and I just need to write Google Fonts. I need to import the library here, and heaps of different options to choose from. In this case, I'm going to use Noto Sans. and then I need to type dot font family. Okay, cool. So now this is set as our default font. So we now have our font updated, and that's looking a little bit nicer. Now in my case, I was also getting an error when I ran the Google Fonts, so I did a full restart, and that error has disappeared. So if you do get an error, perhaps a full restart could fix any problems. So now let's continue updating the theme of the app. Let's look at this app bar up here. So I can come down here in our text theme, and then I can, under our text theme, I can select app bar theme, and then I can select app bar theme here. I can then select title text style. I'll select text style, font family, and then let's also use Google Fonts here, the same font, paste that in there. So I've updated the font there. Let's make that a lot bigger. I'll put font size of 20. I'll put font weight. I'll make this bold. And now let's do a hot restart. Okay, cool. So we have the title looking good. Let's come down here, and we can also update the color, and we can set this to K red. Do a hot restart. So hot reload won't work in this case. So do a hot restart. Okay, cool. So we have that background updated with that same red color. Now coming down, we can also set the scaffold background color. I'll set this to our yellow. Okay, so we now have a background of yellow. And on the home page image, for the banner image, I want to paste in this cool looking Chinese dragon head. So in our assets images, let's paste that in. So I've pasted in a PNG dragon. Then in our home page, where we have our placeholder text, let's replace that with image.asset and put in the path. Alrighty, let's do a hot restart. Okay, cool. So we have our dragon. And here, let's change the color from red, because this is actually an app bar, so we're getting the red color from the theme we selected earlier. So let's also set that as yellow. So to do that, I will select background color, theme of, and then we can select the scaffold background color. Cool, so this here is allowing us to grab an instance of our theme, and then we can select the different properties that we want. And now if we scroll up, we can see that that dragon sort of fades away, looks kind of cool, fades up and then fades away, and we can keep scrolling. All right, awesome. Next up is I want to also add in a bit of Chinese to the title. So I'll put this on the second line. I'll write /n to indicate a new line. So to write in Chinese, I'll press Control Space, and I'll type in 中文学习卡. And let's see how that looks. Cool, and we need that to be centered. So this title is centered, but to actually get the two lines centered, I'll just press Control Space, get us back to English, text align, and then we'll put dot center. Okay, cool. So that looks a little bit cleaner. All right, awesome. Now next up is I want to create a button on the top left and the top right of the home page to take us to our settings and review page. So I've created two images here. We could also use icon button, that would be perfectly fine too. But in this case, I want to use these images just to keep with the style of the app. So I'll copy those. So back in the app, I've pasted in these two images in the images folder. I want the settings to be on the left hand side and the review to be on the right hand side. So this text, I'm going to wrap this in a row so we can have the settings, title, review laid out side by side. So let's lay out the image first for the settings. So assets, put in the path. Okay, so that's way too big, but that's okay. We'll fix that up. Wrap that within a size box. Let's give that a width. .06. Okay, so that looks a lot better. Let's also do this on the other side. So this time the image should be review. Okay, there we go. Now we need to fix up the alignment. So in the row, main axis alignment, and I'll put space between. Okay, so that looks a lot better. Now I also want these icons to be higher, not placed here in the middle. So to do that, I'm going to wrap size box in a column, and I'll just put another size box under it just to push the other one up. And this should be height, not width. Okay, so that looks better. Now, instead of just putting these values in directly, I think it'll be better if we create these as a constant, and that way we could just update them in one place. So in our configs, constants, I'm going to create a double. I'll name this icon padding, prefixing it with a K, and then set that at 0.06. And now back in our home page, I'll just write icon padding here. And now we can just replace that value here with this constant here. Now let's also push the review icon up too. So again, I'll wrap this in a column and just create another size box. Height, I'll just copy this here, actually, make it a bit easier. Just paste that in. Okay, cool, so we have our two icons up the top here. So later on we'll create a settings page. So when we click on this, we'll go to the settings page and also a review page, which will have all of the cards user has answered incorrectly and saved to the device.